Hey guys, welcome back to Frenemies. I'm Ian, and we are back for The Crisis, guys. This is the part 2 of the 5-episode crossover. Well, 3 episodes and then breaking into, which is strange, but it is what it is. I guess we'll go into, should we go into the Batwoman stuff? We're not really going to be dealing with it. We might be dealing inside that stuff. Last episode, Alice screwed up everybody. You know, she got Catherine killed. Mary is mad at Kate because of the fact that Alice is responsible for her mom being killed, and Kate's kind of been on Alice's side trying to get her back, and Mary's upset about that, understandably. Jacob's been arrested. The Crows have a bad name now because of Alice and her goons. And Kate is on the hunt for Alice now to either take her in or her dad will kill her. One of the two. He said he's going to put her down and she wouldn't get in her way this time, or his way this time. And then now onto the Crisis stuff. Boy howdy. Okay. A lot of stuff from the actual comic was already in it. I didn't expect so much of it to be in the first episode. Well, first off, this wasn't a part of it, but Argo got destroyed. Everybody on there except for Clark and Lois and their baby, they were able to escape the antimatter wave, but unfortunately, Kara's mom and the rest of the people of Argo were destroyed from the antimatter wave. Earth 38 was destroyed, which is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if they're going to bring back Earth. I assume that they will, but maybe they won't. Maybe they'll have it like this, and it'll be just Supergirl will be like probably the most affected of everything, just because they're now moved to a completely different Earth, and more than half the population has been wiped out. So, also didn't think about this, but Blindwave mentioned it, and I didn't think about it at all. But those are all doppelgangers. I completely it's based on that. Like this is they're different population, a different Earth's population. So there's gonna be more than like a lot of these people are gonna be doppelgangers from our Earth. So that'll be interesting to deal with. Oliver apparently died. I don't. Most people are with me on this. We don't buy it. At least not that he's gonna stay dead. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's actually dead right now, but he's not gonna stay dead. Not sure when he'll be coming back. I mean, maybe this episode, maybe not until Flash or something. I don't know. Maybe not until the Arrow episode, which was kind of sucky because I kind of want to see Oliver throughout the whole of the Crisis, since it's gonna be their last season, Arrow's last season and stuff. You know, the Shadow thing showed up, the Quantum Tower showed up. We got others on. I think there was only the Quantum Tower on that planet, and then we probably have the one on our Earth now. So I don't know. We're probably gonna have to deal with that. But our Earth, we're on our Earth now, and so that means the antimatter wave is probably heading towards us, and so we can't lose Earth 1. That's Earth 1. You know, that's what we've been with since Arrow. You know, beginning of Arrow. So I don't see them taking out Earth 1, but I mean, I also didn't see them taking out Earth 38. Uh-oh. Sorry about the guys. Forgot to plug in the charger for the camera. I didn't want it to die mid episode. So anyway, yeah, Earth 38 was wiped out. Didn't expect that. Pariah's in here now. Wells is Pariah, apparently. Didn't see that coming. And Monitor didn't expect Oliver to die this way and so soon. So yeah, we get that to deal with. I'm assuming we're picking up right after that. So I got emotional last episode. I'm not ready for the rest of this.
Yeah, I kind of promised our crew they'd never have to do another crossover.
We don't need your crew. Just raise lab.
But we need the crew for the crossover.
Welcome aboard. My name is Leonard, an interactive artificial consciousness programmed to operate this vessel's critical systems.
I know who you are.
Always pleased to meet a fan, but you are trespassing. Any preference on how you'd like to die?
What he's saying is...
Oh, man.
Flame.
Mick.
Frost. I like the quiet.
He's trying to be a writer.
Shut up.
Of romance novels. Well, you can see how that's going.
It's going fine, you piece of...
You're basically living out of your car.
Listen, Snowflake, I'm...
Boys. Come with me, McRory.
You had me at beer.
Yeah, figured. Well, we have one of the others.
Across space and time. Across space and time exist 7 heroes.
Mick. Oh, please be Mick. Be the one to quiet him down. Have the magic Oh!
is of the purest will.
Oh no. No, no, no.
After Oliver's early demise, I went back into the time stream and retrieved it intact. The Paragon of Courage is known only as the Bat of the Future.
Seriously, where do you get these names and pseudonyms anyway?
Please.
I enlisted the assistance of Felicity Smoke, who earned the wisdom of a second book.
It's a lot of books.
Earth 99 exists in a future time, where Bruce Wayne has dedicated himself, body, and soul to fighting crime.
I'm sorry. Go back. Bruce Wayne is the Dark Knight.
If we could all keep that to ourselves, that'd be great.
Please,
The path
please.
to find him will lead you to the Paragon of Courage.
Okay. Who wants to meet Batman?
Please, I swear to God, don't mess with me on this. Come on.
Gotta say, missing that wow factor.
Lena killed you.
Yeah, only for a little while.
Everyone has a part to play, even Lex Luthor.
You did this? So you could revive him, but you can't bring back Oliver.
I restored Luthor long before the crisis caused my power to wane.
And what about those innocent lives on Earth 38?
All I got from that is that if you die again, that dude can't bring you back.
And you are...
New. Unfriendly.
Oh, Batman versus Lex would be so cool. Okay, you could have just like broken the knob. It would have been.
Don't be so rude, Luke.
Is that Kevin? No!
You'll have to forgive him. We're not used to having guests.
Kate.
Bruce?
Oh my God! I can't believe they did it. I was about to cry. Jesus.
Lifetime of injuries.
Yeah.
But you've aged well. For a dead girl.
I died.
5 years ago.
No, 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 no.
Is that him? It's either him or the buff guy on the paper towel rolls.
Excuse me.
You can do that with one bare hand.
Hello,
Hi.
Lex.
Ah, he's Lex.
Yeah.
I didn't know the president was in town.
Yep.
Look, I've faced a lot of tension things.
No! Why?
Old friend.
Oh, feck. No! No!
Who are you?
Come on!
Don't you know me, Clark? I'm Lex Luthor.
Not this one. Come on! Blue kryptonite on him?
That's kryptonite.
Which has no effect on me ever since I gave up my powers.
You gave up your powers?
Can't say I've missed these chats.
You were basically a god.
That is worth more than any superpower.
Hey, Clark! The girls want to show you what they
Hey!
Beautiful.
Still strong though.
Still stronger.
Hey!
I know we saw her as Kara's mom, but
That was Lex Luthor from another Earth. Apparently the multiverse is ending.
Smallville, you made it funny. It's taken you about a decade, but you're getting the hang of it.
What'd the girls make?
girls. Oh yeah.
They can't wait for you to see it.
I've lost track of how many people I've killed.
The Bruce I knew had a code.
You start with a code. You hang on to it with every self-righteous breath. But then you take one life, then another.
Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's my fault.
Good God. Are you serious?
I'm sorry. You seem so familiar. Have we met before?
That means they're all dead.
Yeah, those belong to Superman.
Yeah.
His alter ego.
A reject from Gotham felt that we didn't cover him enough, so he played what he called a practical joke.
Joker.
And gassed the building.
All these people died?
My friends. My wife. First, stay and face Luther.
Oh, this is such a cool suit! It's like the... Oh my god.
Let him kill you.
Oh, I've moved on from that. Never thought I'd say this, but I'm tired of killing Superman.
Oh, that's terrifying. He looks so cool. Oh god. And he's...
You don't belong here. You're here because we need your help. Help.
Someone take the book from Lex.
I couldn't even save my wife.
Oh, he looks so good still, though. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my god, he looks so big.
You have to get Luther out of your head, Cal. The multiverse needs you. And what about what I need?
Oh no, we're doing Man of Steel all over again.
You got this.
He's a little smaller than this one. Okay. Yes! Thank you, Lois.
You can read about it later.
Jesus.
Help me with the book.
Oh god. Tie him up or something.
You okay? Actually, this is the second time I've gone nuts and fought myself.
Seems you little ladies have tied your horse to the wrong.
Hey! Hex!
It's mine. I'm sure we can come to an arrangement.
Bad Hex.
Get up, cowgirl! The mine's yours! The mine's yours!
Wuss. Although I'd probably be the same way.
Nice.
Kryptonite. God dang it. Bruce, no.
Little souvenir from the old hometown.
Guys, Mia's right. This is...
Oh, this is bad. I don't like this. I don't want to see him like this. Mia, move. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Come on. Ah!
It'll kill you.
Kate, listen to me. There is no hope.
Whoa, Ray, you are looking jacked.
No. It's your cousin, sort of.
With all the antimatter in the system, I've lost my magical mojo.
If we can't get Oliver's soul back, he's gonna be a monster forever.
Yeah.
Gotta be paired, sadly. No.
Stop.
Not now.
Please stop.
Come to me, It is time.
No! Now?
With every death, I steal my mirror strength, and mine grows ever stronger. Who am I? I am the Anti-Monitor. Come, Harbinger. There is work to be
God,
done.
it's terrifying looking. No, come on! Oh! Oh my fucking Jesus Christ. Such a fucking episode. Oh my lord. Whew. I said it yesterday. That the first episode was gonna be as crazy and quick as it was, like fast paced. I felt like it was gonna be the slowest episode of the bunch, and thus far, I mean, to be fair, there's only been 2, but thus far, I was right. This episode had so much freaking just nerd in it. Oh, Kevin, it's like part of it is slightly like hampered by the outcome, but Kevin Conroy, I cannot. Like I heard it, but like when I first heard it, it just sounded like someone was doing a deep voice, like for some reason trying to do a deep voice, and then it's just like, wait, I recognize that just fantastic, gravelly, awesome voice, and it's the Batman. Oh my, just fecking. And so much good other, like everything else. Like freaking, they got Tom Welling. They got they brought in Clark from Smallville. Like the show Smallville, I'm kind of sad that he didn't have more of a part to play, and it was more so just like we're gonna show him and that he is part of this multiverse thing, but yeah, he's not gonna be a Superman that you're gonna see, which is unfortunate, but it was still so cool to have him in here. And I know we saw Erica Durance already, like she was Laura, or is it Laura? Laura, I think that's her name. Kara's mom. She's played her since season 2, I believe. I'm trying to remember exactly when it happened, but I think it was season 2 when they changed the actress for her mom. So I know we've had her, but it was just so much. It meant so much more that she was back as Lois. It's just. And every time I know this Lois calls, I forgot her name, I'm sorry, Tulik? It's something Tulik. But when she calls Tyler's Superman, she calls him Smallville as well, but it's just, the way, I don't know, I have so much more attachment to Erica Durance's Lois, and the way she says it, and just like the attitude, the snark she has to everything she says, even at Clark, who she's married to, and they have 2 kids, 2 girls. This is so cool. God, what a time to be a freaking nerd, dude. Oh, I haven't looked at any of my notes yet, but it's just like, there's so much. Like, I think I was like speed panic writing, just like anything that came up. I probably won't tackle all of it just because some of it might not be anything that really is pertaining, but it was like, at the moment, I thought it was cool. I mean, I wrote down that Tom Welling was in it, so I mean, I'm already covering that right now. But, and I was worried that Lex was going to kill Clark or something was going to happen there. But I love he looks at him. I love what he's like, the way he was kind of not analyzing, but like kind of sizing him up and just be like, you're not Lex, and just goes like, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, John Cryer has been a fantastic Lex, like just a phenomenal Lex, especially for like the short amount of time that we've had him. But Michael Rosenbaum, dude, oh my god, like we just had so much time with him, and there's like so much history with Clark. And here though, or in Small, I don't know if it's the same thing. I'm assuming it is, considering I think it's supposed to be like the actual universe. But if for those that haven't watched Smallville, for those that have, sorry to repeat something you already know, but just for those that haven't seen Smallville, and if you don't want spoilers, skip like I'll put a thing. But Lex and Clark were friends pretty much at the beginning of the show. And you see them just their friendship grow, and then you know what's coming too. Like even before, like when the series was live and it was like when it was coming out, you still before it ended, you knew what was happening. And then it reaches a point where their friendship. You see it start to slowly shake. You know, the foundation of that, and it start to crack, and then it finally comes to the point where there's that final straw that just turns. You know, that turns the relationship on its head, and it becomes, you see a kind of more, like, it's not necessarily becoming that Lex Superman rivalry, but, or not really rivalry, but the Jesus, I can't think of the word. I guess the dichotomy, I can't think of the right words, but dichotomy works for now, I think, that we know in comics and in other shows, but you definitely see it, you see the new foundation of the Lex versus Superman arc, or just whole entire story, and then it gets to the very end and you see it, but then at the end something happens to where Lex actually forgets that Clark has these powers, so it's just like Lex doesn't know who Superman is, and Lex is president here, which is unfortunate, but yeah, it is happening in some versions. It was just, oh my god, so much on just that, like so much just there. God, I love this so much. I love this episode. I love last episode, but I love this one. God, just so much happened. But Kevin, there was like levels. Like the first thing I got, I think was, I'm pretty sure I really love Smallville, but I just held Kevin Conroy Batman over that just a smidge. I think maybe more than a smidge, but it's just like you can't like anybody. Some people may not have grown up with the Kevin Conroy Batman, but it's just like there. You hear that voice, and if you hear it in like the animated series, and it's just so good. It's so great. Like he there's not a whole lot like other actors can pull off intimidation, but it's just like the way he does it, it's just so good. But okay, and then we got the freaking Brandon Routh Superman. I mean, it was a different costume. It was more like the kind of the older suit and the Kingdom Come kind of version of his suit. Even had like the underwear on the outside kind of style, and it was cool. Like it had like the old style belt that he has in his suit as well. It was so good, and he had the graying sides, so it was kind of like the Earth 3 Superman, I think. Well, at least in the comics. I don't know if Earth 3 is the same here, but the Earth 3 Superman, it basically looked like him, minus the costume, because Earth 3 Superman's costume looked basically the same as Earth 1 Superman. But dude, he looks so cool when he's like bad. Like that look when he was bent over, and then he like does that thing where they look up to look menacing. It's just like something about it. Brandon Routh, like I hate it when it happens, but he looks so cool when he's like angry or has like a dark or evil air to him in a way. Like in I'm not gonna say what other thing in case somebody hasn't watched this show, but he you don't expect him to be a bad guy, but he turns out to be a bad guy in a show, and it's just like, dude, I hate it, but he does so well. There's so much to cover in this episode, Jesus Christ. But the one thing the big thing that this episode ended with was Lila. We saw it happening at the very beginning, or near the beginning, whenever Monder shows the book of Destiny, and then they kind of zoom in on Lila, and she's having issues, like something like she's kind of like starting to feel effects of something, and that that's like starting to show that whatever Anti-Monitor had implemented into her head, like basically like ingrained in her mind, it's starting to take over. And we see that there whenever I think he forces, I'm not sure if it's like in her mind at the end where she's meeting the Anti-Monitor, which by the way was kind of terrifying, because it was on the Wave Rider, so it could be on her, or maybe it's just a different version of the Wave Rider, because we know that Monitor, I don't know, he has like his own base, so maybe it was like the base, but it looked like the Wave. Wait, did it look like the? It looked like it was either. I'll look at it. I'll see it in post, but it was either the Wave Rider layout, or it was more so the. I think it was either the Wave Rider or Star Labs, but either way, I'll see it afterwards. This is gonna be a really freaking hard episode to edit. Like last one was really difficult, but this one's gonna be the absolute worst. God dang it! I love crossovers, but I hate them because they're so hard to edit. I've only done one before this, but still, they're extremely difficult to edit down. So I've already stated this before, so I'm sorry for spoiling anybody on that. But if you've already seen it, then this shouldn't bother anybody. And if you already know, or if you don't care, Lila's supposed to basically be taken over and does the Anti-Monitor's deeds, and she's supposed to kill Monitor. That's Monitor's plan. So, and it helps them buy more time for there's like, was it 3 or 5 Earths or something like that. So my head hurts. There's so much going on this one episode. Good God. We're gonna go ahead and go from the beginning, right from at this point, just because it's easier for me to go down it. But the beginning, whenever it opens up with Sarah saying that I can't believe I never thought that we'd be drinking to Oliver Queen. That was such a you could still feel it carrying over from the ending of yesterday's episode, but then also mentioning that Barry's not ready to say goodbye, like that just hurt, man. He was also like him, Mia were like very much up on bringing Oliver to the Lazarus pit they wanted to bring. Now also I didn't think about it last episode until somebody else mentioned it, but yeah, I was wondering why Monitor himself couldn't bring Oliver back, considering he brought Lex back. Speaking of which, Kara saw that. We'll get to that in a second. But it's because of the fact that the more Earths they lose, the weaker he becomes, because that goes into the Anti-Monitor's universe. So the weaker he becomes, he doesn't like there's a limit to his power, so he couldn't bring him back. It was tough seeing Barry like obviously he can't deal with it, and Lila couldn't bring herself to tell Dig too, because I mean he hasn't found out the fact that Oliver is killed, and I wonder if they're still gonna tell him, because like Oliver is gonna be, I'm pretty sure they're gonna give him back they're gonna get him his soul back, so he's probably gonna interact with them still. So I don't know if they're gonna tell Dig at all, and if they do, Dig will find out. If Dig does find out, he'll find out that he hadn't been killed, that he's dead, or that he'd already died once, so now he's gonna have to actually be there to die again. So it's like, man, Oliver, you actually did die. So there's the possibility, or this is very real for you to actually die now, and it's gonna be probably even more difficult for him to let his friend go through this. And what I get Mia being upset. She's never dealt with this before, with like a parent that she's got to know and actually see them die. But I didn't like what she got on Sarah. Like she said, Nissa told her a lot about Sarah. If that were the case, she would have known that Sarah lost her dad and that she had lost her sister. So the way she was saying that, what is it? She said, "Don't talk." Basically, she was saying, "Don't talk to me unless it's your father on the line," which you don't think that there was a story arc in the second season where Sarah was struggling with not bringing her sister back to life, so she knows what it's like, and she decided against it. Mia, I don't know. It's just the issues. I get where she's coming from, but like I don't like that she went at Sarah like that. Like if she doesn't know that, then I feel like Sarah should have at least mentioned it. That might have maybe like knocked some sense into Mia. But they eventually they brought John. But I didn't think they were gonna. So they brought is it Arjon? I'm assuming. So they brought Arjon, and they went to a different Earth to get the Wave Rider, and to get they also got Mick. There's a different Earth Mick. So are the other Legends not going to be in the crossover? I'm assuming they will. They said Sarah says I promised the others not to do another crossover, but I mean the last episode is going to be a Legends crossover. So what's that? I don't know. I'm worried we're not going to see the rest of Legends, because I really want them to be part of the crossover, and we kind of need everybody for this. So whether Sarah, promised them or not, sorry, but we need everybody to help. And it seems that the only thing they needed, that Monitor actually needed Lex's help for, was to lure, or to basically track down the Superman they needed for them. So he did his job, so I guess he doesn't need him anymore. So what is Monitor? Is Monitor gonna do anything with Lex now? He's gonna lock him up somewhere, or I don't know, take away the life he had given him. I don't really know what all he can do now, since I know he's weaker. I mean, giving life is one thing, but could he take the life away? I mean, I don't know. And also, since that happened, like the Earth 38 was destroyed. So, but it's still, whether it's a different Mick or not, I'm glad to see. Well, before we go into that, there was that what Lex did, killing other Supermen. Are they bringing them back? Because I mean, we saw for one of the Lois's grieving over Lex over Superman, and it kind of was representative of like the Doomsday versus Superman. But like, can they rewrite it back? Because I mean, I don't know. I hope that maybe the Monitor could do that, at least, like with the Book of Destiny. But also, again, as I was saying earlier, I know it's not the same Mick, but it's still Mick. Even to the fact that he's writing novels, he's not as successful as our Mick, which is hilarious. Because our Mick, he does it, but he does it under a pseudonym. So he has like a series freaking out, and his pseudonym is freaking like beyond popular. They even had a freaking con for her, I guess, because it was a female that he used for a pseudonym. But yeah, this one he had his self-published book. And reading it to the baby, I love that like the only one that could quiet the baby down, like quiet Jonathan down, was Mick. I knew that was gonna happen. He was like, Mick, please be the one to keep this baby quiet, and he did. And he was reading his freaking novel to the baby. But it'd be interesting if we've already had Mick interacting with his self. It was his past self, but we've had that before. But it'd be interesting to seeing different Earth Mick interact with his doppelganger, even though they're virtually the same in this one. Just again, one's less successful than the other in terms of their writing. But I love that. I don't think it was always the same way, but I don't know how Mick would have figured it out otherwise. Figured out how to tweak the Wave Rider. But I'm wondering why those legends retired. That kind of sucks. I hate to think what drove them to do that. But maybe it wasn't anything bad. Maybe they were just like something else came into their lives, something to make them happy. Maybe Sarah and that Earth found happiness somewhere. I don't know. Or somewhere else, because she's happy with the legends right now. But I love that the AI for this Wave Rider is Snart. I'm glad we at least got something of him this crossover. I think Earth X is destroyed, so we won't be able to see that Snart, I don't believe. Which sucks, because I would have loved to seen Leo Snart again. He was fun. And it's always great to see Cold, whether it's Citizen or Captain. God dang, there's so much I gotta go into. Earth 74, that's what that one was, right? Yeah. Ow, God, my head. Dude, Barry was not happy with the Monitor. I mean, rightly so. I mean, he'd been telling him that he's supposed to lose his life in the crisis to save everybody, and then Oliver sacrifices himself to save over 1 billion people, and I mean, this is one of Barry's closest friends. There's Cisco, and then there's male friends. There's Cisco, and then there's Oliver, essentially. And we could see just how much it affected him. He was not obviously he wasn't happy with the Monitor. He was just not happy, period. But the way he was handling it, was just whenever he mentioned that we lost the Monitor mentioned we lost a hero, and Barry just goes, yeah, the wrong hero, and you just see the rage in his eyes, towards the Monitor himself. It's you said that if I died, nobody else would. And one of my closest friends died because of you. Or that's probably what he's feeling anyway. But it was just... I know it was it's kind of a subtle thing to pull off. Just quiet anger and just staring with... Not a overly intense glare, I guess. I don't know. But I think Grant, I feel pulled it off. Even though, again, it's not super... crazy whenever in the episode where he was fighting the Speed Force and Ramsey. I feel Grant still just did a great job in that scene. It's just that small bit. Speaking of going back a bit to the quieting the baby thing, I just thought it was so funny that the Monitor was having this serious moment and giving this speech about what was going on and what they had to do and what the Paragons and everything. This baby kept crying and interrupting, and it was just yeah, that seems accurate, There's the baby's not gonna just stay quiet for some kind of this speech that has no pertinence to the baby. And to him, it's I don't care. I want attention, or I want food, or whatever whatever Jonathan was needing at the time. He needed attention, I think, is the way. Whenever he was given to Mick, Mick quieted him down, and he didn't feed him or anything. It was just yeah. I love that Mick smiled at the baby. Oh. Throughout the whole time, Mick was just smiling at the baby, and when he was reading to Jonathan, he was smiling too. Mick is just such a deep down. Mick is just one of the warm-hearted person in this whole Arrowverse. I love it so much. No pun intended. But that makes sense with the way they were saying Kate is the Bat of the future. Is that Bat of the future or future? I think it's Bat of the future. Not saying that she's that she's the representation of the Bat for now that Bruce has gone on her Earth. And even Carr brought up they basically before people freaked out, was saying that you may not be the most experienced, but you have the biggest heart, I think is what she said, and that you try your hardest and you never give up. And so I'm still interested to see what exactly Kate brings to this, because again, I know Kara mentioned it, but still, she is the least experienced in terms of fighting, and she's not the strongest of them, even in terms of those that don't have powers, like Sarah, Oliver. Who else we got? Dig. Definitely Dig. Dig's massive, but just there's so many that have something more that and immediately seems than she would. So I'm just curious what Monitor exactly needs. I know she's the what is it? Paragon of courage. Yeah, that's the one that Bat of Future was supposed to be Paragon of courage. And then there's Kara, Clark, Kate, Sarah. But even if I did mention Barry as one of them, I'm like wondering like who are the others. I guess we'll see that later on. Hopefully next episode. God dang it, next one's the last one before the freaking break, and then I got a break, man. Dude, when Kara saw Lex. Oh, first off, when she heard him, like there was that disbelief and shock, and then she turns and sees him, and she's fixing that. She was about to kill him. I think it looked like, or just severely injure him. But Monitor shows up and stops her right there and explains that they need him, which made it difficult for her to trust him, which is totally fair considering what Lex has put her through put like a lot of like National City and a bunch of the other, basically the world, especially here when he freaking took the Book of Destiny. But I mean that was part of Monitor's plan. We kind of saw that whenever Lex took it in the first place, and Lana told Monitor, and he just kind of had a smile about it. Be hard to bring up a good point. There's still others that he kind of got killed because of that, but unfortunately it's kind of like the bigger scheme of things. Like Monitor's got to, like, there's however many Superman that Lex took out, that's essentially kind of, I don't like saying this, but inconsequential to the multiverse itself. I mean, any Superman would sacrifice himself for the sake of a planet. So, or of any life really, like it doesn't have to be a whole planet. He would sacrifice himself for one life. But still, it's like that's just a very touchy subject to deal with, and whether I'm still wondering whether he's gonna bring them back or not. I'm glad that Iris was able to show up and she was here for Barry, because Barry definitely needed that considering what they went through. He just saw one of his best friends die, sacrifice himself for an Earth, and he thought he was the one. He'd been preparing. He prepared himself to be the one to sacrifice his life, and then he sees his friend do that instead, and so he wasn't prepared for that at all. So yeah, he definitely needed somebody to kind of lean on, and I'm glad Iris was there for that. But now they're kind of like because of that, Iris was kind of hopeful, wondering whether maybe he's not going to die because of that. But the issue with that is that's not what was supposed to happen. But also Oliver wasn't supposed to die there, so I don't know. I still doubt that Barry will die, but it might be kind of what Oliver will have with all, like he'll die and then come back. I mean, I don't know. Because I'm assuming he's like whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen on the Flash episode tomorrow. But it doesn't. God dang it! I'm really worried because Flash vanishes in Crisis. And in the comics he does die. So. But it's different because this is a show, and their vocal character is Grant Gustin's Flash. So I don't know. But the thing is, he's also set up Cisco to be the leader. He set up Ralph to be the hero that Central City looks up to now. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. What kind of sucks is that they had Jonah Hex. It was a different Earth. I kind of forgot about that. But Jonah Hex shows up, and obviously he doesn't have his messed up face. But he's not a nice guy. He's not the same Hex that we know, which was kind of unfortunate. He was very creepy to a much younger person, much younger girl or woman, much younger woman. Luckily, they both took care of it, so it was totally fine. Then Sarah gave him a scar. It wasn't as messed up as his face was. It is in our Earth, but. It's something to remember them by. I love them whenever Kate and Kara run into Earth. What was it, 99? Yeah, Earth 99's Luke. I didn't even recognize him for a second. I guess the glasses kind of threw me off. It was a lot of times. Anybody who has glasses and you see them wearing glasses for a long time, and then the glasses are gone, they look different. And it's not unsettling, but it's just strange how almost different, like completely different they look. So that's my excuse. But it's just funny, like, the reaction to him as well, like, because he was, for some reason, shirt open, abs showing, apparently a really fit dude. And I love that Kara's like, well, at least he's cute. Like, nope, not making that weird. Yeah, I don't. Does she not know that Kate's gay? I mean, I thought she made that obvious in the crossover last year, but maybe she. I mean, why assume she's gay and she could be bi, but still, I don't know. I thought that was funny though. I thought that before we got that Kate was gonna be the bad of the future, I thought maybe it was gonna be Luke. But he also had pulled out a gun. He seemed kind of aggressive as well. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how he is. The way he talked about the trophies that they got from the villains before, like that Bruce had killed. He seemed proud and a little too sounding a little too satisfied to be looking at those. And although I do love that, like, the entrance to the Batcave was the original, like, clock. Like, I don't remember if it was in the Michael Keaton Batman, but in the animated series he always has that clock secret passageway. And the entrance to the inside of the Batcave does seem similar to the Batcave in Batwoman, but it's in Wayne Manor this time. Showing the trophies, I completely forgot that Bruce has already mentioned how he lost track of how many people he'd killed, and we see like the bloodied card of Joker, and I was just thinking, okay, this Joker just bloodied somebody, so he kept that card. But it was Joker's blood on the card, a broken Riddler cane, and I think there was something that had to do with Mr. Freeze. I think is what that was. I don't know for sure. A lot of mementos of the people he killed, which is unsettling and very kind of depressing to seeing where this Bruce has fallen. He even killed Superman, which is absolutely tragic because the way he spoke of him, he didn't sound like a bad guy. Like he listened to the police maybe a bit too much for Bruce's liking. Like maybe what the police said might have stopped them from saving someone's life. Maybe, I don't know, but and the way he spoke very much reminded me of the Donald Justice Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman. The way he first saw Superman before even actually meeting him, but it also sounded the way he said Clark, and the way he was spoke of him too. It sounded like beforehand that they had a kind of friendship like they do in the comics a lot of time. Just sad. Another reason why it's sad, the fact that he killed Superman. Other than the fact that he killed Superman, and that I thought maybe like Bane was the one that put him in that, because I mean you saw like going down his spine. But the fact that it's basically the reason why he can walk, but it was Superman that ended up putting him in that suit. So I guess I don't know what. I guess he had a suit before that, the one he has right now, that had kryptonite in it. So I'm assuming that's how he killed Clark. What I'm wondering about is why Kate was able to fend off. Does the suit just give him movement, like help him move, or what did it give him any kind of heightened strength? That's kind of what I was wondering whenever I saw that Kate was able to hold him off, because I know kryptonite kind of made it easier for him to fight Kara, so that's why he was able to fight her. The kryptonite definitely weakened her a lot, but I just thought that it gave him heightened strength, because being even weakened, that kind of wouldn't necessarily have knocked her out, I don't think, but maybe it would have. But if it doesn't give him any heightened strength, it would make more sense why she was able to fend him off. Because I mean, one, he's weak and he's older now in here. So yeah, it makes sense why she would. It would make sense that way if that was why she was able to hold him off. If it doesn't give him any enhanced strength. Speaking of fending off, I love that. Going back to earlier on in the discussion with the Smallville Clark. I love. I am kind of sad that we don't get to see more of him as Superman, and that he's given up his powers. I guess he maybe used gold kryptonite, because I think that can take away your abilities, Kryptonian's abilities permanently. I don't know if he could have used another method. Maybe he used Jor-El, because I know Jor-El took his abilities away. Was it like twice, I think, in the series? But he gave his powers away in this one. It would have been later, because I mean it's been years. I'm assuming. I don't know how far along he had been Superman before giving him his powers. But I love that, whenever Lex pulled out the kryptonite, Clark just looks at it and he's like, and then chunks it. Lex is like, that's kryptonite! What the heck? And like, yeah, doesn't affect me since I gave my powers. And you see, why would you? You can see just like the fact that this power that this person that he wields. Like he doesn't understand. He can't fathom anybody giving up that power. And then he realizes he gave it up for a family. And he could see just like the disgust and the disdain. I'm trying to think of another word. Like he's not impressed with him. He's like, I can't believe you'd give that up. Like that, like this godlike power to Lex, for something as inconsequential, insignificant as a family. I love that was the reason that he gave up his powers, and not just on like because he was giving up on something, on being Superman, or because of some pain that was caused him, and it was because of he wanted happiness, he wanted to be with his family. I'm glad that was the case, but it's still sad they're not going to see more of Tom Welling. I was really happy. Like I don't know if you could tell, but I was really happy. I was pretty much brought to tears when I saw Kevin Conroy. Same thing happened when seeing Tom Welling. Like I was pretty close to it in last year's crossover when we just heard the music, but seeing him was great. But I don't know, maybe we'll see him again. I don't know, but that was one heck of a cameo. If not, I am grateful that they had that much, because that wasn't just like how that last episode where they had linking Burt Ward. Not like the Burt Ward and the guy that played Knox also in the '89. It wasn't like just like a small clip of like just like, hey, look, I bet you recognize that. It was actually like a moment of interaction, and even interaction with someone like Lex. And then when he tried to punch him, he's like, this dude's still big. I mean, he's like a good head or so taller than you, and he's got like maybe I want to say like 40 pounds of muscle over this guy at being nice. I don't know. He's massive looking compared to Lex. So he catches him, like, I'm still strong. And then he just decks the guy, right? I'm pretty sure he decked him. Or did he just shove? I don't remember already. Dang it, that's not good. Either way, it was great. Oh, yeah, he punched Lex. I wrote it down. There we go. Confirmation for myself. Going back to the fact that, that Bruce wound up killing all the old classic villains and assuming other criminals, not just the big time villains that we know. But whenever going into that speech before, like saying that you start with the code, or first he said like battling not with monsters before you become one, essentially, basically like the old the Batman Begins, not the Batman Begins, the Dark Knight, the scene, the line that the one that's been requoted countless times with Harvey Dent's character in Dark Knight, saying you either die here or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Basically a different iteration of that, but kind of had just more ominous note to it, like a grittier, darker version of it. And then going into that, saying you start with the code, but then you kind of, the further you go into this, and then you take your first life, it changes everything. And I hated seeing that on Bruce. I mean, there's the Thomas Wayne, who's always the killing Batman, but seeing Bruce as a killing Batman, it sounds silly, but it breaks my heart. Even though I know they do that in Ben Affleck's Batman, I hated that. Like anytime a Batman kills, I hate it. At least Bruce. I'm not a fan of it when Thomas does it, but like Bruce is known not to. Thomas is just like it's always been his thing. But Bruce, even here, he started off not doing that, but he wound up falling into that instead. I thought it was funny that both Lois and the Iris and Lois, especially Lois, that made it funnier, is that they saw Tom Welling's Clark, and they was like, you big, and they both kind of like saw they're quite attracted to him. And Iris always is like that. Whenever she was with she was already with Barry, and it's like, Oliver's the Green Arrow? I don't know, that makes him more attractive. And he's like, hey. I just love that. That's always the thing. Like, not just with Tom Welling, also whenever they ran into well, it was a little bit different when they were into Brandon Routh Superman. Ruth. Is it Brandon Routh or Brandon Ruth? Anyway, it was more so Iris. She could definitely. He looked. I wasn't sure if they were gonna actually acknowledge that he looks like Ray, or it's supposed to be like that's not supposed to be a thing. But no, she actually said he looks exactly like Ray Palmer. And Lois is more so like she felt like that she knew him, even though it's. I mean, I know it's supposed to be Clark, but I just thought it was it's very interesting that they still have like this kind of connections, because I think it's his Clark or his Lois. Maybe it looked like her, or she looked like her. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not, probably not, considering that their Clark looks like Brandon Routh instead of Tyler Hoechlin. And it's another Joker that's been mentioned in this. Like, Joker's been basically mentioned 3 times in this crossover thus far. The first one was obviously that nod to the Earth 89, and Batman captures Joker, and then Batman 90 or Earth 99 when we see that Joker's card, and that Bruce that was one of the villains that Bruce killed, and this one that Clark. Or Brandon Routh Clark saying that some reject villain or whatever he said basically was upset that they weren't covering him in the Daily Planet, not Bugle. That's Spider-Man. So he ends up killing everybody that was in the building, and that was including his wife, which is just like that. I gotta put my man Superman through this kind of crap, man. I felt so bad for him. Like he lost so many people in that home. Let me just see everybody that was lost in that. Wait, hold on, I missed that. The first time. After Oliver's early demise, he says he retrieved the Book of Destiny. Isn't that what he handed Lex at the Supergirl crossover thing? Or not crossover, I'm sorry, the Supergirl episode before the crossover? Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention Felicity saying, like, apparently he enlisted the help of Felicity? Like, our Felicity or a different Felicity? The Book of Wisdom, or the Tomb of Guardians or something? Hold on. Tome of the Guardians? Is that just like a general statement, or like the Guardians of Oa? That's something big, if that's the case. I mean, Guardians unfortunately can be talking about anybody, but if they Guardian, like, they just go by Guardians and Oa, so if that's the... Oh, dude, could we see Green Lanterns in this? That'd be so cool. I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it too much. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up. The Guardians of Oa, if that's a thing, that'd be so cool if they brought that in here. I mean, I know they probably exist in the multiverse, but like the fact that he mentioned them, if that's the case, again, and if that's them, that's crazy. Ron Troop, I don't remember anybody else, I don't think. Ian Thomas, Matt Brady, all are the like comic artists or artists, or Jesus Christ, or authors. I don't know all the names, and I feel really stupid for not, but Angela Green, I think is what it says. It's really hard to make out some of these. Lacey, can't read it. Jeff, I don't know if I'm supposed to know any of these, but I don't recognize any of the other names other than the 3 before, or the 3 that they actually like zoomed in on and had a clear picture of. And well, Oliver's back, kind of. I mean, they brought his body back, at least. His body's healed. The only issue is now he's basically gonna be bloodless, and now whether they bring his soul back or not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe they can use like the Lotus stuff and get rid of the Bloodlust or something, or they can use the Book of Destiny to get rid of the Bloodlust. I don't know. I was kind of hoping that they would decide against using the Lazarus Pit, like Sarah's conversation with Mia when they were alone at the cave. And maybe they should be able to talk her out of it, but because I mean, the Lazarus Pit is just, I mean, it's brought us Sarah and Thea. It's brought them back to us. So I mean, I'm grateful for that, but it's caused a lot of pain, and it's brought Roy back too. But yeah, I mean, another case in point. You know, he was racked with guilt after killing those 2 officers in last season, and it caused him in the flash forwards. Apparently, caused him to isolate himself to the island, to Lian Yu. So I mean, I don't know, but you know, they went through it. Apparently, John is having issues though bringing his soul back because of the whole thing, the antimatter filling out the universe. But there's so much of it now, it's messing up his, being able to use magic. So he was able to I thought was cool was he basically did like a multiverse map kind of thing. He was able to find Lazarus Pit on Earth that they could use, but apparently what he's doing, obviously, like going in and trying to get his soul back is obviously needs requires a lot more magic than I'm assuming a multiverse map. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do then if that's the case. Like, could they use if they're not bringing his body back, but if they're not bringing his body back, could they use the Book of Destiny to at least bring his soul back? And then there's Kara, who's wanting to use the Book of Destiny to bring her Earth back, which I hope she is able to. Just because it would make some things a little bit easier in terms of like finishing out the Leviathan arc. Even though I know it's not like that big a deal, I do kind of want them to be able to finish that, and just also the 4 billion others that died on Earth 38. Sorry, her adopted mother. I don't know if she made it on the ship or not. They didn't say who made it. I was wondering that last episode as well, but I don't know who all didn't make it. Like of characters that we know at least, let alone the rest of the 4 billion people that didn't make it. One good thing that did come out of her, well, I guess the other thing that good came out of her interaction with Bruce, apart from finding out that she's basically the Bat of Future, the Paragon of Courage, is that Kara was able to get a photo of her and Beth from the time or an Earth where they weren't separated and Beth didn't go crazy and lose everything. So she kind of gave her hope to still keep trying to bring Alice back. So I guess whenever we come back with Batwoman next year, we're gonna go back and trying to bring Alice, at least bring her to Arkham, and maybe try to help her become Beth again. One thing I thought was interesting though, the fact was that Kate did end up taking a piece of kryptonite from Bruce, which I am not upset with her about, but it's like that's kind of risky if Kara finds out about that, or any of the other Supermen, or if the other Supermen find out about it as well. But she's kept it in the lead box. But it's it's a known thing that Batman needs to be prepared for any kind of circumstance. So if a Kryptonian, an evil Kryptonian, or if Kara or any of the Supermen were to go bad, they need to have this on them in case of that kind of an emergency. So I feel like she's smart for taking it with her, but I don't know. I'm worried what's going to come of that if they find out she has it. I hope they don't blow it out of proportion. I hope they give her time to explain it at the very least, what I mean. But god dang, what a freaking episode, guys. This was such a... this is going to be a pain in the rump to edit. I guarantee it. I'm going to be real late for this one. That is it for this episode of The Crossover, guys. We are continuing it tomorrow, and then we're going on a break. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to stick around for next episode, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And if you want to support us, go and check out our Patreon, where you can get access to polls and vote on shows you want us to react to, and early access videos for any catch-up series that we have. The link for our Patreon will also be in the description down below. That's it for this part of The Crossover, guys. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you tomorrow for part 3.